I'm Quinn, and we've got this great new virtual reality setup. But instead of telling you about that today, I'm going to tell you about the path to virtual reality through history. Because everything that's happened before this is stuff that we still use today in our virtual reality. And I think that's really cool to learn about. So we're going to start actually before history, in prehistory, when people who were living or at least going into caves were drawing on these cave walls. And in some cases, they were actually even drawing onto projections on the walls that looked like animals already. When the cave light, that light from the fire, flickered and lit those animals up, it would make the animals look like they were running. So it was already early illusion. Now going forward, we had magicians, we had art that really tried to become more and more realistic with perspective and illusionism. And by the 1830s, we reach this whole new technology that really improves on that. And you may have heard of it. It's called photography. So here's an early example of photography. Not quite 1830s-ish, but at the same time that photography is being invented, so is a device called the stereoscope, which allows you to look at two images. In this case, we're going to use a photographic card in here, and it combines them. Lower the handle. In your mind, the two lenses will combine the image as I put it to my eyes, and I see a picture of women feeding birds in San Marcos Square. It's a remarkable little toy here. And that's actually what those headsets that you use in virtual reality still are just stereoscopes like this. But instead of this, you have little TV sets in there. But to get there, we need to go a little further. We're going to skip ahead a few decades toward the middle of the century when these toys suddenly become popular, like the phanakistoscope and the zoetrope, that create animated images so that you can actually see the pictures move. In the 20s, we even have the invention of the Viewmaster, which is just a smaller stereoscope. It really hasn't changed since this. I love the dinosaur one. I think everybody did, but what everybody also really loved was flicking that switch and hearing that sound as it clicks back. Good. There's not really much that happens other than other toys until the turn of the century when Edward Maybridge takes two of these zoetropes and a stereoscope, puts them together, and creates the first 3D animation. That becomes extremely popular in the early 20th century when we have 3D movies that use, as you might have seen, anaglyph glasses. The red and the blue lenses separate two different parts out of a single image that your brain then recombines to see a three-dimensional image. And shutter glasses, where one eye turns off and the other one turns off repetitively in a very irritating manner. And even polarized glasses, which we still use today if you go to the 3D movies. Slowly through the last century, we had other attempts to bring virtual reality to life. We had simulators come out. There's a guy called Morton Heilig, who's considered the father of VR, who creates his Sensorama, which surrounds you with sounds and lights and visuals. What leads to modern virtual reality is the University of Southern California has a mixed reality lab that they keep going through all these years. They come up with different haptic suits and walking treadmills. But one guy comes out of that, Palmer Luckey, and he decides, I'm going to make something at home that I want to turn into the new VR. And he's the guy who created Oculus, which we actually use in this museum to bring virtual reality to you. Now, why don't we go take a look at our virtual reality setup and see what we can do to bring the rest of the world, the universe, Mars, the space station, and ORNL right here in Oak Ridge to you using that system. Okay, so this is the headset. It's the first thing I'm going to put on. Just stretch the back here, put it over my face, and it takes just a moment to start up. I'm now inside. Now I'm essentially in my office. This is a large geodesic dome with a nice desk, a fire, and most importantly, my menu. I'm going to look at the menu right now and see what options I have. We could go to Mars, we could go to the space station, we could even practice magic, but today I think I'm just going to go to the space station. Okay, I am now going to explore the space station. I'm in 0G, so I'm floating here. If I can't grab anything, I can't move. And I can see a window up here, so I'm gonna go towards this window. Oh, don't want to hit the wall too hard, because even though I know it's virtual reality, it's still tricking me. So we're gonna launch myself. As I'm doing this, I just get a whole new feeling of being free of gravity, of exploring this. Probably looks hilarious seeing how I'm moving right now. And I almost floated free. We don't want to do that. I don't know how they put up with all these floating things around. Oh, and I hit a wall. Sure that you can see that. That's actually the toilet that I hit. I think we can possibly try to use it. We're not going to do that on camera. So we're going to go out of here, and right next to the toilet, as you would expect, is the best view on the space station. Into this area, and look out at Earth, which is just amazing. And if I look all around this dome, I can even find the Milky Way. There it is, past near that module. I just don't even know what it would have inspired in me if I had done this when I was a child and seen this spacesuit, for example. I hope that it would really inspire just feelings of wonder and excitement. I can even pick up the food. I hadn't tried that before. See, I'm getting excited by this just doing it right now. What is this? It's fancy tomato ketchup. Why do they have that? But it's time for me to get out of this and get back to the real world. We have this experience on the space station. We have the Mars experience right now. We have a few other games that we're experimenting with. And we are really looking forward to taking you inside of ORNL so that you can see all the amazing technology that they are developing right now.